What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing some more work on the MR2. So you guys saw yesterday we got the seats pulled out, we got the dash pulled out, and there's still a lot more that we need to get pulled out of this thing so we can get a roll cage in here. Today I want to try to get all of the carpet out and all of the plastic trim pieces that we don't need out of here. I also went ahead and just pulled this one off real quick. I'm going to pull all the seatbelt stuff out that we don't need. We're going to be putting harnesses, so we won't need any of that. There's like this little black box right here, not sure what's in there. Might be a little speaker or something. But we need to get all this stuff out of there so we can go ahead and start putting a roll cage in this thing. Also, as you guys already saw yesterday, we went and picked up this red MR2 for 400 bucks. And the plan was to swap the black interior out of this one into my MR2 because this one has the blue interior from factory and I didn't like it as much as the black interior. But I was thinking about this yesterday and today, and I was dead set this morning on just swapping everything out of this one into mine. Just use this black dash, put it into mine. It would make it easier. I'd have everything ready. And then I just got to thinking again, and I was looking at this dash, and it's not in the best of shape, and it is kind of a pain to take everything apart. And I actually ended up deciding that I am going to flock the factory dash, the blue one that came out of here, and that will make it black, and I won't have to deal with taking this one apart, and I think it's gonna look really good, and I've always wanted to try it, so this is a perfect time to try that out. And I also saw some of the comments on the last video as well. A lot of you guys said I should just flock it, so that kind of convinced me just to do it. The only thing that sucks about this is that I haven't ordered any of the stuff I need to flock the dash. I'm gonna do it right when I get home tonight, but obviously I'm not gonna get that stuff for at least a couple days. And my goal is to have the roll cage in the MR2 done by the end of this week. But if I have to wait on all that stuff, I'm not gonna be able to put the dash in for a while. And we need the dash in the car to finish the roll cage because you have to cut the holes in the dash, run the bars through the holes. And once the cage is in, the dash pretty much will never come out. So that is going to set me back a little bit, but I think it will be worth it. And I think it will also look a lot better that once we cut the holes for the roll cage to go through, that I flock it after that. So what I'm planning on just doing now is get the roll cage as mocked up as we can. I can get the holes cut and everything. And then once the kit comes in, I can get the dash done, and then we can go ahead and start welding everything together for the roll cage. But it might set me back a little bit longer than I wanted, but that's okay. We still have plenty of other things to get done. But yeah, that's where we're at for right now. I got to the shop pretty late. I was actually just at a dentist appointment. If you guys remember, in an older video, I had mentioned that I had a chance of getting my braces off today, January 15th, but turns out I'm still gonna have to have them for about another 6 weeks is what they estimated. So I got a new little rubber band configuration. I just have to pull this little gap in my teeth together right here in the front, and then I'll be all set, and then the braces will finally get to come off. But I still have to live with them for a little bit longer. But yeah, just figured I'd keep you guys updated. But I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling the rest of the interior apart on this MR2. Get the carpet out, get all the interior pieces out, and just go from there. And then I might start mocking up like a main hoop and seeing where I wanna run the cage and everything like that, and just go from there. So we're gonna go ahead and just dive right into it.
You know, get this stuff just folded up out of your way, and then start your plate off square here where you're gonna weld, but then mark it here and here, and then you'll know where your bend is.
Yeah, and we have to fold some of it over, right?
Fold it over, yeah, just leave it solid, fold it over, and then you can stitch it there. They just want a 6x6 patch. 1/8-inch thick plate, 6x6 is required. Do what you gotta do.
Well, that should be simple enough then. So then we can just do the plate there, and then same on that side. Yeah, just do the hoop right through here.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think it should be too bad.
You don't even have to do like those bands. It's literally just up in your first bend. And
yeah, and this back plate right here I think should be fine. On some of the other ones they'll just do the 6-inch square patch right there and just go straight to that off the hoop. I think that'd be fine too, just off this back piece. Seems pretty solid. So
for me, I'd want to tie into the upper strut towers, because then that's also going to stop flex back there, so when you launch it, it keeps it that more rigid.
Yeah, because I know you were talking about that last time. You were trying to say to cut a hole through here and run it all the way to the back
cut like
shock towers.
3-inch hole, and then before you weld your bar in here, get yourself, I mean, this wouldn't be part of the structure where you're mounted. You'd actually do your 6x6 plate back at the strut towers, and here you could do even thinner plate and cut an 1 5/8 hole, and you just slide it on. And then once you get all that all done, then you can just slide it back down, hammer it to the same shape, tack weld it in, and then it seals it all back up. Get some seam sealer to fill that.
Oh, you don't even need it to be welded right there, just to the shock tower in the back?
If you had it attached here and it went through to the shock tower, that would be your 2 points of contact. This piece, you know, would just be body filler.
And it would be okay if it
keep your firewall
came down and then bent straight to the shock tower?
Yeah, you're allowed to bend.
Okay.
And that's, honestly, you'll probably be about right in here. So, I mean, coming down like that, it's only maybe like a, you know, 12, 14 degree bend. That's not a whole lot.
And that's how you think you would do it?
That's exactly how I would do it.
And just run the bar all the way back to there?
Yeah, I'd unbolt this stuff and put your 6x6 plate right there and run straight into it. And that gives you all sorts of mounting points, so you could change your engine mounts to different locations, and gives you all sorts of different options. It gives you rigid structure to work with, and ties all this factory sheet metal, which is just, you know, tack welded every few inches and then seam sealed. I mean, lots of guys that would like SCCA race this, they strip all the body panels that they could off, then they strip all the seam sealer, and then they go in and freaking stitch every one of them joints together.
Yeah.
That's how they make them more rigid.
Yeah, well, it's something to think about,
you could do
sure.
It with bar, I mean,
yeah, and it would help
shortcut.
Add some strength to the shock towers,
yeah, it gives
too.
you the rigidity here, so you know when you're putting that load on it, it's not trying to flex the body, and then you start getting stress cracks from flexing there. These little spots, each one of them spot welds I could drill off with a little thing without even going all the way through.
Yeah, and this whole plate would just fall off.
Completely off.
It's not even really part of the car.
It's just a firewall. All it is to contain you away from the engine. So if gas got out and started burning.
And so according to roll cage rules, you're technically supposed to tie in those back 2 bars to the shock towers.
Yeah, it says rear
strut towers.
We can look it up exactly. I mean, I can help you find the rules and let you read them too and interpret them.
I mean, yeah, I guess we might as well do it like that, and I don't think it'd look too bad. I just don't want to lose too much space in the engine bay, but
I don't think you're really gonna lose space.
It'd just be a bar running right through there, and if you think that'd be a lot safer, which is what's important.
Yeah, I think so. And in reality to that too, it makes this stiffer, so then your engine's gonna stay stiffer and they're more rigid as well.
And the suspension's all stiffer, and it just ties it all in more.
And in reality, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like these panels right here pop right off, so that gives you...
Yeah, they do. These guys come off, so you can get to it pretty easy.
The room to get to it and then put it back together. Yeah. There's my couple little opinions.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Ooh, don't know what that was. All this stuff falling out of the ceiling. Alright, so I got a lot more of the interior pulled out of the MR2. So you guys just saw it, and I actually had Sean come over here and kind of brainstorm with me on how we should do the roll cage. And my original plan was just to do the main hoop, just like how we normally would. Then I was gonna have the bars that come off the back of that go straight to this piece right here, but he was suggesting that we actually drill a hole through this and go all the way through and tie it into the shock towers right here on the back. He's saying that will you know, help tie the suspension into the car, and he thinks that will be much safer and much stronger that way, because he made a pretty good point right here that this piece isn't actually like part of the car, it's just like spot welded on, so it could flex some and it would just help rigid the car up more if we tied it into those shock towers. So I think I am going to try to do it like that, but yeah, so that's what we're thinking so far. I do need to get a hole saw and hole saw through these pieces down here, because we're going to be welding the cage right into this corner right here on each side. That's going to put it just behind this pillar right here, so it should look pretty good. We're going to try to keep it nice and tight. We need a hole saw right through here so we can drop it down so we can weld on top when we need to. just like how we did my hatch back when we did it. But yeah, definitely have a pretty good idea of how we want to do it now. And buddy Nick came over here too with his dog Rocco, if you guys have never met him, because I'm sure some of you guys saw him in the background wandering around. That's Rocco. What's up, dude? But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and start on the main hoop here pretty soon. We already have all the chromoly back over there, so we just need to take some measurements, and I'm gonna have Sean help me bend that up as well. He's really good with the bender, and I don't want to mess up any of my chromoly tubing because I kind of suck with that bender. You have to give it a couple inches of give before it starts to bend, and he knows it really well. So try to get the main hoop bended and just go from there.
I'm gonna say 35 is top peak height. Well, actually,
34 and a half maybe.
Yeah, we'll go 34 and a half.
All right, see, well, here's what we're gonna do. He's gonna help us with this one, and we're gonna do the Hondaroo one all by ourselves. For the most part, we still have him for questions.
All right.
But all the measuring and bending, we'll do it ourselves.
Come on, Jamie, what do you think this is?
Saying, looking from here, I see it.
I usually have 3 or 4 inches extra on both sides, so.
That's not what she said.
What were you thinking about?
Well, since your floor plate's gonna be up here, that crossbar would be about yay high. And we could section a little piece out here so you could still weld all of this whole section up before you put it in.
Notch this out and just have it rest in?
Yeah, and then you cut it with a thin blade, and then you can patch that back in.
Okay, yeah.
Patch it back over where the bar slid through.
Yeah, that might work good. So then you can do it all on a table?
Yeah, you could do your whole main hoop with this bar and your D bars all in one shot.
And then just put it in once it's ready?
Yep, and that makes a lot of the more difficult underside welds.
Yeah, those were a pain.
Yes. I mean, yeah, it might suck sectioning a little bit of the tunnel, but at the same time,
It'd be worth it.
Make it easier, yeah.
It'd be worth all the time and hassle. Did you get all your measurements?
Yeah.
Do you need? Yeah, we need to take notes from him. He just writes it all out.
What's up, dude?
All right. So what we have done now is we have laid out our maximum hoop parameters. So now what we're gonna do is fill in some blanks and figure out the actual hoop. But this is our maximum diameter. So anything here is gonna be pretty much almost touching the body line, which gives us just a little bit of gap to put the interior back in and keep it a real nice, tight, clean looking location. So I have a bar I've already bent, and I have inches laid out. I have a start location, so it gives me most of my math I need here. Location of my bend, 5, 6, 7. 7-inch loss in that bend. 7 over here.
So I wanted to watch this too because I never got to see the main hoop being made. So when I brought my Civic, I came and it was just already done because Sean had an extra one that he did for another car. It was just a leftover, so.
Got one laying around, you know.
Yeah, they literally just had a piece of a roll cage laying around that fit my car perfect.
One stick coming right up.
All right, so what Sean was just kind of explaining, when we went to my car, he got all the measurements he needed. He wrote it down on this notebook right here and came over to his welding table and he took this paint marker and measured everything out. And then he took this piece of tubing that he just kind of showed you guys. He made this himself beforehand and it's all labeled in inches. Each one of these marks is an inch. And then he can use that to find how many inches each angle is going to be in between each corner, because you're going to lose some material obviously from each corner from the bend. So then once he goes around and does all that, he has all the measurements he needs. He can then measure the total length of everything, because for instance, like he just showed, this one right here is marked in inches. That section is 4 inches, and he can add this 20 inches, the 4 inches, and go all the way around and then get the exact length he needs to cut out of this piece right here. He's gonna add a couple extra inches on each side right here, and we will cut that later to fit into the car perfectly. But yeah, that is a really good way to do it, and I'm glad I could kind of see how he did that, because like I said, when we did my roll cage, I never saw how they did the main hoop. And yeah, that makes it a lot easier. When I was looking at it, I thought I was just gonna try to measure it and eyeball it, honestly, but no, that's definitely the way to do it for sure. So keep that in mind, because we're gonna do the Honda cage ourselves.
And this way shows you, he can measure the, like right now he measured the middle point of the stick, and it shows where he has to put it in the bender.
Yeah.
To start the bender.
Yeah, it shows right where he needs to
So you're not
start
guessing
on the
like,
bender.
oh, it looks like it's gonna be right here. It's actual math on
He's
where
got
it
it
needs to
down
start.
to a science.
It is. It's not even science. It's just natural.
For him, yeah.
For him.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing.
For us, we need all
Geometry is good to pay attention to in school, kids.
This is for all those kids that are saying, when are we gonna actually use that in the real world?
right now.
Here it is.
Use it
In
all
your
the
race
time.
car.
Everything
I don't
we
think
do
I've used a
involves that.
protractor other than in class.
Yeah, I've never.
I wish I still had some of the little protractors from back in the day. They were way nicer than these plastic pieces of junk.
Also, for anyone wondering, the iPod that we got with the MR2, it has 9,000 songs on it, so that's pretty cool. We've been jamming out to the iPod, so it works. That's awesome.
We're still in the A's.
Yeah, we're still in the A's right here.
And we've been going for hours.
Close enough.
I feel like you would have done that behind.
Yeah, I would have.
I'd say that fits pretty darn closely.
That is. I mean, what do you mean? It's
It had a
very.
little bit of
That's
s-
perfect.
very close.
This is Jamie's song.
Dude, this song makes me happy.
Throwback to middle
I
school.
can't be angry with this song. No, dude, this is like high school for me.
Got the hoop all done. Nice. You can check how it fits. Thank you, Sean, for the help, of course. This is gonna be a little longer, like we said, on the ends right here, so we're gonna have to trim it down.
So tomorrow we'll start with the seatbelt bar, and to pull this a little tighter, we'll put it back in the bender, give it a couple more degrees on both of these bends.
Just because it's barely
Yeah,
too wide.
suck it in, we'll clean up the metal, measure out our seatbelt bar, tack it in, and then to get our bottom feet spread to exactly where we want them, we'll put our bottom floor bar in at its width, and it can, wedge in and spread that out just a little bit. It's not much tension, so we'll get it right there, and then we can weld the D-bars in, and then the main hoop can go in, and then we can start doing the rest of the bars, halo, and down bars, door bars.
All of it.
Yep.
All right, guys, well, I think we're getting out of here for tonight. We got the main hoop kind of mocked up. It is a little too wide. We had to like tweak it a little bit, but we still have a lot more to do to it to get it to fit just how we want it. It is already really close, so we just have to mess with it some, get it to fit how we want it. But that is the start of the cage so far on the MR2. So huge thanks to Sean so far for helping show us how to get that done. But we're gonna come back tomorrow, get a lot more done on this, and just keep going. Maybe we'll start diving into the Honda while we're at it and just go from there. But yeah, that's all we've been really messing with today. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's pretty much all that we got done today. But I feel like there's a decent amount of knowledge in this, so I figured I'll make it all one video, even though we just got this one hoop done. But that's where she's at for right now. So as always, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.